it's Pauline here, and I just want to make this video to encourage anyone else who might be going past their due date for their pregnancy. This is my 7th baby, so not my first go round, and every single baby has been late. And I tell you, it messes with your head. Like, it just feels like in today's modern culture, it's cool to go early, like it's normal to go, like it's pretty standard to go early, that it's like people are on Instagram and I feel like they're, I thought they were like healthy people and they're just like, hey, I'm 38 weeks and what can I do to get this baby out? And I'm just like, 38 weeks, holy cow, like 2 weeks, like a lot changes in 2 weeks in a baby's life. The brain's still developing, like things are still growing. And I think it's because as practitioners, they have been saying like, oh, 38 weeks you can deliver safely. The baby can survive at 38 weeks just fine. They're not preemie anymore. And for those of us though who go after 40 weeks, that is like oh my goodness, everyone and their mom starts texting you, is the baby come yet? Is the baby come? And it starts to mess with your head. That's how I feel. I'm just like, I get anxious. I'm thinking about it day and night. Here I am. I'm just chilling at home waiting for this baby to be born. I'm 40 weeks and 5 days. And I just want to share with you some things to encourage you, because I had to encourage myself today. I had to pick myself up and be like, you're good. Like, this is not your first baby. This is your 7th baby. And they've all been late. My oldest, my second oldest was 2 weeks late. He was at 42 weeks. And then from the earliest I've had it is 3 days late, and then usually about a week. Anywhere from 5 days to a week is pretty much my standard. And I just, some of the things I'm reading is, okay, you might not actually be 41 weeks or 42 weeks. So birth is calculated by the first day of your last menstrual cycle. So and then they're assuming that you have a standard 28 days, so you ovulated at day 14. Well, what if your period's a little bit longer? You might have ovulated at day 21. So you think you're 42 weeks, you're actually only 41. So these are some things that are really important to factor in. 2, going early is not a good thing. Babies they've been linking like vitamin D deficiencies to preterm birth. Typically health could be an issue, so know that if your baby is going full term, that's a good thing. The risks with going full term are so minimal. If you're drinking water and being healthy, you've got plenty of amniotic fluid. I mean, they do say like, oh, like the risk of like the placenta giving out or something after 42 weeks, it's just extremely rare. It just doesn't really, like the risks of going earlier are so much greater, like the baby's lungs not being born, like things not being developed. And I just want to share with you of one of the babies where I just wasn't patient, and then I had a second opportunity with my other child to be patient, and the difference that it resulted in their health. So the one that went 42 weeks, he was a very short labor. But at that hospital, like I heard over and over again, the nurse midwives were very pressured by the hospital just to get people out of there. I mean, I was in the hospital for probably only 3.5 hours, and yet I felt pressure from my midwife to get things moving along. Like 3 hours, my first birth, I was at a very not natural-minded hospital, and I was there for 11 hours, and no one rushed me. But at this one hospital, they did, and she suggested, let's have you try pushing. Because I was almost 10 centimeters. And of course, as a mom, you're pretty ready to be done. When you're at that close, you're in transition almost. But there's like what they'd call a hanging lip of cervix. Like I just couldn't push quite yet. It was almost 10, but just not quite. So she thought, well, maybe if you try pushing the baby out, that will help make it just be fully 10. So I tried, and I didn't have the urge to push. And the contraction, the feeling that came when I did that was so overwhelmingly awful. Like instant regret, never doing that again. That was the worst feeling. Like didn't need to, didn't want to, didn't have an urge for that. That was bad. So right there, like that's listening to your body, like didn't have the need for it. And if you look into the Bradley method, they teach you all the reasons why if you don't have the urge to push, the baby's probably not in the right position. So something not good happened to my son's eyes, and I'm wondering, was it then, or was it like 30 minutes later she's saying, well, let's break your waters? And I know the risk of breaking waters, and she said she was like 99% sure that this would be the thing that would, get the baby out. And it did. She broke the waters. His head came crashing down, and he was born like 2 pushes later. So what she said absolutely worked. Like, does castor oil get your baby out? Sure. Like, do all these things work? Sure. They work. Does induction work? Sure. But is it the right thing to do? So he was born with crazy red eyes. Like, everything in the white was completely red. So imagine your sweet little baby, you're looking at him, and he's got these beautiful blue centers, and then all the white is like freaky red. It stayed that way for 2 weeks. And just recently I was doing some research on it because he's the only child I have who has eyesight problems. In the past years, if he's been outside too long in the sun, his eyes turn red. Like, it's something that has come, I wonder if it wasn't from just me not being patient. And I read, there's a name, it's like subjunctivitis hemorrha, like they have a name for whatever this red eye thing is. As a newborn, they say it typically happens with babies that are over 8 pounds. All my children are over 8 pounds. The last baby was 9'7". The one that was born with the red eyes, he was the 42-week-old baby. He was born 10 pounds, 6 ounces. All natural, came out in 2 pushes because she broke the water, all that. And then he was not my first baby, so he came out pretty quickly. And with that said, like, I always have babies over 8 pounds. The last one was nearly 10 pounds. No one's born with the red eye thing. This was the only time I've ever broken the water, ever prematurely pushed when I didn't need to. I got the opportunity with my second son, Declan, the only other boy I've ever had. Again, the hanging lip. And he was going to be born in his bag of waters, which they call that being born in the cull or something. It's lucky in some cultures. But like the water never broke. So I just wonder if the same thing didn't happen with my older son. Like, they just had a very strong bag of waters. They're boys, I don't know. And I had the hanging lip thing again. This time I'm at home. This time I'm in a different state. I'm at home now, no longer in the hospital. And my midwife is like, it'll come. It's going to come. She was patient. She wasn't in a rush. And she was right. I mean, not much longer. The hanging lip thing, worked itself out. We had a full 10 centimeters I was able to push. And he was coming out in his bag of waters even. And she did break the water when it started to come out that way because she, I think she was concerned about the cord being wrapped around. She wasn't sure. But it's very possible to just birth your baby completely intact with their bag of waters completely surrounding them. Isn't that crazy? To just be holding your baby and it's like still in its bag of waters. It's rare, definitely rare. My water never breaks until labor. Again, that's a nutritional thing is what I've heard. It's only about 10% of moms have their water break before, and it could be a nutritional thing. So you might look into that if that's, if you have other problems, and perhaps the bag of water is just an indication that maybe there could be some things that could be done better with the nutrition. Who knows? That's worth looking into. I feel like there's just not enough nutritional studies done. So much stuff is done to scare us, and they don't have enough. They want to blanket me with every other mom out there who's eating Taco Bell every single day. And here I am, like, trying to be super healthy and careful. Please do some research and studies on the diet of these women who are giving birth to these babies with these certain defects or that, and stop scaring all the other moms who their babies are getting plenty and adequate nutrition. That's just my 2 cents, getting off my high horse now. So just being patient and just reminding myself, with my first son that went 42 weeks, I just had to constantly be encouraging myself. We had to go do the stress tests, drank tons of water. They would always check, yep, he's got plenty of amniotic fluid. He was certainly born perfectly fine. Everything was fine, but those weird red eyes because of the pushing, premature pushing or bag of water breaking that had been done. But just, I had to use that one verse from Isaiah that says, we'll mount up on wings like eagles, we'll run and not be weary. Just like, look up that verse if you need the encouragement. It's a great verse to memorize and have with you. Just that God's going to be with you during this time, that it's happening for a reason, whatever the reason, that your baby is taking just a little longer to cook. Maybe you're not actually 42 weeks. Maybe you're really more 41. Maybe you're 39 and you're not even 40, but because of the way the ovulation cycles, or maybe babies take a little bit longer. That 40 weeks and 4 days is typically what I've read is what babies need. So just be encouraged and know that you're fine and normal, and that the baby will come. So anyway, it's my thought for the day. Here I am. I'm 40 weeks and I think, let's say 24th, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I'm 40 weeks and 5 days today. So it could be tonight. Keep getting contractions, thinking like maybe this is the day. And it just comes and goes and I wake up and I'm like, I guess I didn't have the baby last night. So here I am. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. If you're pregnant and you're in my same spot, a wonderful labor and delivery I know is coming your way. So be blessed, be encouraged, go out and live life abundantly, and I will talk to you next time. Last thing I want to say is, although I have always had perfect, healthy pregnancies, perfect, healthy labors and deliveries, everything goes great, do listen to your body and do pray about whatever you do. Listen to your practitioners, do the research for yourself, and make your own decisions. That is your God-given right. But of course, do what's best for you and for the baby. No judgment here. Do what's right for you. I just want to throw that caveat in that that you know your body, but also listen, do research, and make wise decisions because this is, after all, for your health and for your baby. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed this.